Yassas, Kalispera, good afternoon. This is Mytilene, the capital and largest town of the Greek island of Lesvos in the North Aegean Sea, the third largest Greek island after Crete and then Evia, and the 8th largest island in the Mediterranean Sea. So, I am surrounded by lesbians. The word lesbian comes from Lesvos, the island, and I guess the current name, according to Wikipedia, of the people is still lesbians. Now, there's another story about why that is now meaning something other than the people of Lesvos. It is because of a woman back in history, but anyways, it is great to be back in Greece. As I showed in my last video, arrived here last night, coming from Turkey. I am back for the 12th time to Greece, and it is great to be back. So, I am staying at a hostel that I showed there at the beginning. I booked it yesterday for 2 nights so that I could have a sort of relaxed day-ish, although I spent the day editing that video and getting that done. So today is Sunday, September 1st, 2024. So welcome to the end of summer, currently 84 degrees Fahrenheit. That is 29 degrees Celsius. So perfect temperatures, feeling those nice sea breezes coming off the Aegean there. And so my plan for this video was to go to the castle, which I saw coming on the ferry, but it closed at 3:30. And then I was thinking of going to the ancient amphitheater, but it closed at 3 p.m. It is now 4:30. And so instead then I will save those for tomorrow, when I will likely rent a car and head out and see more of the island. And so I guess this video is basically going to be me wandering a bit randomly around Mytilene here, showing what a fairly large town on the Greek islands is like, because it is quite different from the tiny little sleepy villages. Wanted to cross over here and get a little better view of, for one thing, this very brightly colored boat here, Giannis, John in Greek. So out there is where I got dropped off yesterday, and that is the same boat, or at least the same company, Turio, that took me from Ayvalık, Turkey, about an hour and a half boat ride to here. And so I decided to walk this way, since I walked along that yesterday, and up there you can see there is the castle. So, for something to talk about that is also very relevant to today is, why do I keep going back to the same places over and over again? Of all the 195 countries, of which I have seen 95 of them so far, so got 100 left. So why don't I just keep going to new countries instead of going back to ones that I've been to previously so many times? This is my 12th time to Greece. I've spent about a year in total traveling around Greece since my first time back in 1990 when I was 18 years old. I've been to India 13 times, spent a lot more time in India because of longer trips, so 2.5 years traveling in India. And then I think after that, the country that I've been to the most would be Mexico. Forget, but I think maybe 9 times. And then been to Turkey 6 times, Thailand 6 or 7, etc., etc. All right, let's wander down here and get a taste of the restaurant scene. So there are 3 main reasons that come to mind why I would go back to another country, especially many times. The first is just that there are so many places to see in these countries that I keep going back to. I'm not going back to like one beach, obviously, that I just like a lot, and then I just go there every time and see the same thing. I'm both going back to places I've been to before within those countries, and then usually also going to new places in those countries. And so certain countries just have a lot more packed into them than others. So Greece is a pretty small country, really. But for how small it is really jam-packed with so many different places and things to see. So first of all, there are the 227 inhabited Greek islands. Now, that must include a lot of teeny tiny little islands, or islands with almost nobody living on them, because I'm realizing that I am actually getting close to seeing every main Greek island. Lesvos here is my 56th Greek island. And if I look on a map, then it's more a matter of counting the islands that I haven't been to yet than the ones that I have been to. So the main islands that I haven't been to are all of the islands in the North Aegean Sea. So Lesvos here, and then Lemnos, which I may go to next, Samothraki, and Thassos. There is only one main island that I can think of in the entire Aegean Sea that I haven't been to yet, which is Sikanos. Also there is Forni. It's a little smaller, so it depends on what you call main islands, but and then over on the Ionian side there is Lefkada, which I really want to see. And so that is kind of it as far as the main islands of Greece that I want to see. So I'm getting very close to completing that, but that gets nowhere close to the 227. And so there's an archipelago of tiny little islands off the coast of Corfu Island. They look really interesting. And then next to Milos there's Kimolos. And then I guess just a bunch of other tiny little islands. But then it isn't just about the islands. There is the mainland, and I've shown a fair amount of the mainland on previous trips. I've climbed Mount Olympus, I've been to the Peloponnese, I've been to the Pelion Peninsula, I've been to Thessaloniki, Vikos Gorge, Kavala in northeastern Greece. So I've seen a lot of the mainland, but there is still much more to see. I'd especially like to explore the Peloponnese Peninsula a lot more. And as I said, there's still islands, and there will always be more islands for me to see. And so I just always have more on the list to visit. Same with India. There is still so much more to see of India. The whole Northeast, Kerala, Gujarat, and so many other countries that I have been to, including some right nearby here that I won't call out and name, but other countries of like a similar size that, based on my experience having been there, they just don't have nearly as many places of interest to visit, or as nice of places or whatever, even if I enjoyed the country. But I didn't leave with a long list of, well, gotta do this, gotta see that. Okay, so I'm thinking that if this is going to be kind of a random just walking through town video, I might as well get away from the noisy main road there. Let's walk up that way towards that hill, see if maybe we can get a little bit of a view. The amphitheater will be up there. Apparently it's closed, but maybe we can actually still get a view of it. And so, other countries that I've been to, many of them just don't have as many places that I learned about anyways worth visiting, that I would go out of my way to go back there and see more. So that is one reason. Turkey as well. Just so much to see in Turkey. Thailand, Mexico, of course. Just tons to explore. So the second reason is just that I like it. I'm not going anywhere purely just to see things, especially not going back for a second time, if I didn't really enjoy the country as much as I might enjoy other countries. And so it's just a matter of the feeling, the energy, the atmosphere, the combination of the food, the music, the culture, the friendliness of the people, the history, the landscapes, the nature, the beaches, etc. And so for me, then Greece just hits the right vibe. Now, you're definitely not seeing the best of Greece here in these back streets of the big town on Lesvos, but I think that Lesvos is going to be very interesting once I get the rental car and get out of town. A little taste of history here. And so Greece just kind of hits all the expectations as a traveling experience. The weather, the food, the relaxed vibe, especially on the islands, the beaches, the super crystal clear water, the ability to find remote beaches, find the hiking trails down to some remote beach. They aren't all jam-packed, crowded umbrellas, that whole touristy scene. You can usually find much less crowded beaches in many parts of Greece that are really, really nice, amazing water, and then a few people there, maybe you have it to yourself. And then I just find the landscapes to be really interesting, even though they're, not the most picturesque, but the kind of dry, open landscapes, the combination of the kind of starkness of the landscapes against the sky with a blue and white little Greek church, just very kind of simplistic, meow, but still beautiful in a way. These images of, Santorini with the white and blue buildings, the blue sea, the blue sky. So the flag of Greece, the blue and white, the blue represents the sea and the sky. The white represents the sun and the waves. So the sea being, blue and white with the waves. Oh, hello. All right, looks like we hit a dead end here. Okay, I'm going to take my phone out and search for that amphitheater and see what it says. So the amphitheater is now a 29-minute walk away. It's actually farther away from here than from my hostel where I was at. And so I think that I will abandon that and instead just try to get up here and get some views. So when it comes to liking places, then India is a country that I, of course, love traveling through, kind of for totally different reasons than Greece, although still it's the food and the landscapes and the abundance of places to see. But as far as kind of the atmosphere, the energy, the vibe, it is like the exact opposite in terms of being just super full-on intense, crowded. Instead of the ghost villages of the Greek islands, you have the massive cities, and even, the small towns can be very, very busy. It's more of a full-on, intense, sensory overload experience that is very invigorating to the senses and just hits you in a very different way. And so they're kind of like nice complements to each other. If I'm in the mood for chill out, relax, but yet be able to explore, adventure, hike, bike, swim Greek islands. If I'm more in the mood for full-on intensity, challenges, weird experiences, and no shortage of new places to go, then India is the place for that. And then the third reason is certainly because of that familiarity aspect of having spent so much time in these countries, that I know what to expect, I know how it works, I know how to get around, etc. All right, we have some stairs up ahead. And so, as somebody who has been traveling around the world for much of my adult life, so first trip abroad, summer of 1990, it's now 2024, so 34 years. In that time, in total, as far as international traveling, I've spent about 10 years traveling outside the US. That doesn't include my time working in Canada, any time in Canada, or any of my travels in the United States. So outside of the US and Canada, not including, obviously Hawaii, Alaska. And much of that has been over the past 20 years, since 2006. So I went to Europe summer of 1990. Next international trip was India, winter of 99 to 2000. My third international trip was winter of 2006, back to India for 3 months. And so I only went out of the country 3 times in 16 years. But then since then, 2006, I have traveled outside the country for a good chunk of time every year since then, and especially in the past, 10, 15 years. And so, point being that I I spend a lot of time traveling, and the new countries are more demanding. You have to figure things out. Might not know a single word in the language. Don't know how transportation works. Don't know what to expect as far as, you know, what's gonna go wrong. What's it gonna feel like walking down the streets? You know, is it gonna be relaxing? Is it gonna be stressful? Are there going to be lots of scammers, etc.? And so going back to the more familiar places is an opportunity for me to go somewhere where it's not going to be as challenging, where I know what to expect, where I know that I can still have a really interesting time, where there's still lots more to see, where I know that I'm going to enjoy it, but without a lot of the challenges, stress, the mental energy drain of starting in a new country. And so I think that as I've, you know, traveled more and more over the years, then I am kind of finding that I desire that more familiar experience a little bit more often. I don't want to just go full on for 11, 12 months out of the year. Well, definitely ended up in a interesting spot here. Okay, so it ends here. Let's get out of here and do a little more of a wander and try to find somewhere with like a nice view of the harbor. Maybe we can even see the amphitheater from somewhere. So this could be a good spot to get a view, looks like. There must be sort of a bit of a canyon or valley or something here. Scary, scary dog. Oh boy. Yes, good looking viewpoint. Not seeing the amphitheater though, it might be other side of those trees or something. And so it is not a goal of mine to visit every country. That is not going to happen. I would very assuredly bet. All right, what a view. I definitely would like to get to 100 countries for sure. Okay, there is the castle. But for me, it is more of a goal to like try to see every main Greek island. Try to see basically every region of India, not necessarily every state, but I'm probably getting pretty close. I've never like added up every Indian state that I've been to. But I really want to explore the Northeast. Got to get to Kerala. Definitely want to see Gujarat. And there's lots more in the Himalayas. When I was in that region of the Indian Himalayas, that was last year, when I went to Manali and then the Kulu Valley? I went to the Parvati Valley and another valley. I think the Kulu Valley was the one that I didn't get to that I really want to see, that looks really interesting. And then there's the Char Dham pilgrimage. Actually, it's the Choti Char Dham because there's the Char Dham char means four in Hindi, and then dham, I guess, sort of means temple or spiritual destination, something like that. And so there's the 4 temples all over India that Hindu pilgrims will visit. And then there's the Choti Chardham, which means the smaller route, which is all in the Himalayas. And that one in particular I really want to do. I've been close to a couple of the temples, but haven't been to any of those 4 temples, and they all look like they're in just absolutely stunningly spectacular locations. And so that is definitely on my travel list. And then there are various countries I haven't been to yet that I definitely still want to visit. Mongolia, Bolivia, Greenland, not an independent country, but Faroe Islands, also not independent, but the Azores, more of the Canary Islands, Madeira, also not separate countries. But then as far as separate countries, then got to get down to South America again. Bolivia, Chile, Argentina are the 3 countries I'm most interested in seeing in South America. Then of course New Zealand. That is very high on the list to visit. This winter could be a good time because of course our winter in the north is their summer in the south. You know, maybe this spring. Although, to be perfectly honest, I'm thinking of going back to India this fall. But lots of South Pacific islands to visit. I'd love to see more of Myanmar. I only spent 1 day in Myanmar. I was doing a visa run from Thailand. And then countries that I have only seen the capital city of and would like to see more of the rest of the country. Sweden, Norway, Denmark, Slovakia, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania. But that is definitely not high on my priority list to return to those countries for now. And then where else? You know, obviously got to get down into Africa more. South Africa, Kenya. I would say that the country I'm most curious to see in Africa is Namibia. Ethiopia, Rwanda. So much to see there. Of course, that is a part of the world that you got to be ready for the intensity, the culture shock, the you know, all eyes on you, standing out like crazy, the challenges of getting around African countries. They aren't going to have the same sort of bus system as India, many of them. There's a lot of variety, of course, but a lot of African countries don't have much tourist infrastructure. Some of them have very, very high price hotels because they don't have a lot of travelers. They don't have like a budget travel, you know, group of people going there to support. And so it can actually be quite expensive in a lot of Africa. So we shall see, but for now, here I am, just starting my 12th trip to Greece and very much looking forward to it. I waited until September because this is really the best time to be here. So now I got to get on the computer, start doing some research, check ferry times, check rental car prices, best places to see on Lesvos here, and get ready for the coming Greek adventures. So lots more coming from Greece. See ya.